Hello, welcome. Danielle Arsenault here with you today. We're going to talk a little bit about the pelvic floor. What is the pelvic floor? The pelvic floor is a group of muscles that lives at the bottom of your pelvis. It's really what holds all of our organs into the bottom. It includes the vagina, the perineum, and the anus. And in order for that to be healthy, we need to address whether it's got too much tension or a weakness. A good way to know if your pelvic floor is weak, and this happens to women quite a bit, and men, you're not excluded, because sometimes men can be lifting improperly, and that creates that downward pressure, this pressure that we're not keeping ourselves pressurized inside, and so it allows that to be pushed down and out. For women, obviously childbirth is a thing. How we know if it's weak. There are a couple of ways. One way that you can know that right off the bat is if you're leaking urine at all. If you cough, sneeze, jump, and there's any leakage, that's an indication that your pelvic floor may have a weakness. Another way that you can do that is to actually test. And what you would do is you would take your hand, go ahead and lie on your back, and touch the space in between your anus and your vagina, or for men, it's right just below the testicles. There's all kinds of words for that space. We all know them. And just give a little pressure there and then cough. If you feel a bulging out, chances are there's a weakness. If when you cough you feel it kind of draw up a little bit, then you're looking pretty good. You're feeling pretty good there. So one of the most common, well-known strengthening exercises for the pelvic floor is a Kegel. It's often one of those that women are prescribed after childbirth to kind of tone everything up. And what that kind of looks like is, let me move this back a little bit, it's a drawing up of the pelvic floor muscles. You're kind of like sucking up and bringing inside. And it's almost like you were to take and just grab the top of this and like suck it up, okay? So it's this kind of motion. It could be almost like you're picking up a marble, whatever cue works for you. That is a Kegel. So that's a strengthening exercise. But before we get into that, there needs to be a little bit of prep work. You can also be too tight there. Like sometimes, we've been told, do the Kegels, and that can create too much of a tightness in there. You might know this if it takes a while for you to release those muscles to urinate. That's kind of a big cue there. And so we don't want to overdo it. There's always this nice balance, right? So for the prep work, grab a ball, a towel, something that you can squeeze in between your legs, or your knees rather. And then go ahead and lie on your back. And just be aware, take a couple nice, relaxing, calming breaths into the nose. Using the 3-dimensional breath, the multi-directional breath. And if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and find that. That's super cool too. And just relax in there. Using your fingers on finding your pubic bone rather, and bringing the breath down into there and letting everything just kind of soften. Sometimes I like to rock back and forth a little bit. My low back gets kind of tight, and so invite your back to relax into the floor. Allow the pelvic muscles in here to relax. Now the prep is going to be, you can use a chair to bring your legs up like this, or if you're strong enough, you can just go ahead and bring them up. And immediately you'll start to feel some like tightening, like a pushing up against your fingers if you're engaged there, right? And you'll take the ball and bring those up. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your feet out. So they're gonna spread like this, okay? So squeezing lightly into the ball
pressing out. You're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel tightening in. Everything's gonna draw in down there. Okay, you'll feel that. And only hold that for a few seconds if that feels good for you. If you're feeling any discomfort in the low back or that's hard for you, rest your feet up on something. So that's the prep work. And we want to be nice and relaxed in there before we start any strengthening, okay?
So what you can do, I like these balls actually, this works quite well, or you can get a towel that's rolled up and you place it right underneath the pelvic floor in the perineum, okay? And I'm just showing you this here. And what you're gonna do, you can also sit up on a chair, is you're gonna try and draw that up and you'll feel it. You'll be like, oh, you're kind of squeezing around there and then relaxing. So we want to condition our pelvic floor for a long hold, anywhere from 2 to 8 seconds, holding, 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 release. Again, draw up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, release. Now go at your own rate and go at your own duration. If it's 2 seconds before you start to feel kind of fatigued, go 2 seconds and just do this a few times and see how you feel. The next one is these short bursts. So boom, boom, boom. This is like, okay, what if you sneeze a few times in a row? You're gonna wanna hold your pelvic floor together. So you'll draw up and relax, draw up and relax, draw up and relax, okay? This may take a minute, especially if you've become slightly disconnected from this place in your body. If you have not seen the multidirectional breath video, please go back to that, because the diaphragm and the pelvic floor work together. So if there's some kind of pelvic floor dysfunction or there's some kind of breathing dysfunction, everything's gonna get kind of skew-wampus through there. So go back and take a look at that and implement that as you are implementing this pelvic floor work. Again, to just take your time, be patient with yourself, be mindful. This is not a race. This is simply trying to improve our body awareness. Love you all. Take care. Let me know how it goes.